Previously on Champions United.
I just want to land on this SUV bad.
Get rid of the other car, just throw it off the road, or you just want to leave it here? I can throw it in the woods if you want.
Well, what you see is Knockout's just kind of looking at this talking frog with the foul mouth. It says, isn't it obvious what's going on?
Superman, and I know what's happening. I am Superman, and I can do anything.
It's the finger of interminability.
Recording is on.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
That's why I'm using Jitsi. It's also got built-in recording and everything. It's really got everything I want to use for free.
Well, good.
And we got this grid up, I think. Do you see it? I have it up so that I can see everyone at the same time.
Okay.
I don't know. The other one is where whoever's talking can pop up. That one's fun too. That one's fun for people. I can do it. I guess I can change it up. I got different views, right? Toggle tile view. Ah, yeah. Super Frog.
Yeah, Super Frog, motherfucker.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, Brian.
All right. I'm out of the other game.
Oh, that's right. You're in another game. I should.
So we left off in the strong box downtown, something called Starhold.
Starhold is the EE, Enhanced Entity prison that orbits Earth. Strongbox is what they call the temporary facility. They got one holding cell at the Bureau, the FBE downtown. So they call their place, one of the short nicknames for the Bureau is the Strongbox because they can hold facility to hold an enhanced entity.
We learned about the FAA
operating when they were supposedly a dissolved federal agency.
Brainless Bodies, 1955. We found a tracking device for the alien shard. And in 1962, Dr. McKeever did something. Oh, there it is. Super Frog.
Super Frog was said their priorities, and you chose returning up to Pondsville. Still find Dr. Farwell, and I guess find some more leads on whatever you hope to find there.
Let's get in the truck.
They give you a couple badges. The wallet with the badge. I guess they give you the lanyard with the chain. It just says your FBE.
Not to distract from getting a badge, but Knockout has a brand new costume and is looking really good. Has everybody seen her new costume? Boom. Summertime Knockout.
Ain't no cure for the summertime blues. Yeah, because you were talking about like wearing these winter coats and stuff, and it's like, dude, it's May 5th.
I know.
But that's a good one. That's a real classic, Iron
That's
Age
how she.
hero.
That's how she reappears at the FBEE.
You're given a GMC. You get the 2020 GMC Terrain. They got a lease on them. Don't scratch it, otherwise it fucks the lease. They got to pay a lot more money. It says Matt Earn. Keep me informed of what you find up there. Lead on these mysterious people claiming to be the FAA. Dr. Farwell is your priorities. Where are they? Where can we find them?
Knockout asks Agent Madhern, where is Garvik Nurse?
He's in the hospital in critical condition.
Which hospital?
It's not going to be CCUMC. So what's another hospital in Capital City?
Didn't see that one coming, did you, DMJ?
I haven't even given a thought about the hospital.
As long as Agent Madhern gives up the information, Knockout says, come on, Frog, and goes to the car and starts to drive to the hospital where Agent Garvik Nurse is laid up because she's going to go heal him.
Blackbridge. Blackbridge Hospital is obviously in the Blackbridge neighborhood, which is not too far from Highlands, which is where the bureau is. You get 5 minutes. He's in and out because he's foggy on the meds. But since this is federal agent business, you can get 5 minutes. But he's really he's got to have his rest. He's suffering multiple third-degree burns, fractures, contusions, internal bleeding.
Knockout will enter the room.
Okay, the respirators are going. Beep, 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 beep. You got the things coming off his fingers. Doesn't look conscious. IV.
Knockout will grab his chart and just look at it for one or 2 seconds.
The chart is consistent with someone who was caught in an explosion.
Turn the chart and go over and pull a chair up next to Garvik's nurse, and tears start streaming down her face. And grabs Garvik nurse's hand, and I'm going to start feeding him some bodies.
So you can heal people.
Yeah, I'm Knockout.
Well, I've seen you bench press concrete buildings and stuff. I didn't know there was this soft part of you. What is it exactly? What does it do?
It doesn't matter.
Every day, every second, every minute, every hour?
I have 6 charges per day.
Okay, so you can give him 6 body.
I give him back 6 body.
So you can have a conversation with him, his eyes flutter, blood on bandage, and he starts looking a little better. Maybe a little farther down the healing process, his eyelids flicker up. Oh, God, what are you doing here?
Try not to talk. You're going to be okay.
Watch the power. You got to track the power. Find crimes.
Knockout just shakes her head like, you can count on that.
Then he's out of it.
All right. So she'll stay for a few more minutes. Gets up. Walks over to Frog. We're going back to Pondsville. But when that's over, I'm going to find whoever did this to Agent Nurse, and I'm going to make them pay. And at that point, the tears stop flowing, and her face changes into all business. The emotions are gone.
All right, so Super Frog's just going to look at her really, intently, not to break the moment or anything. So who is this guy? Let's go back to the lab, man.
Come on, Frog. Knockout grabs Frog and starts pulling him along or shoving him out the door.
Off to the GMC terrain, 4-hour drive out to Herrin, West Virginia. Radio stations get pretty thin going out there, so entertainment gets down to, 1370 AM. It's a blowtorch out of downtown Capital City. Picking that up. 1370 AM, News Talk Sports, the Jimmy Dugan story. This afternoon, I've got Sarah Jones, celebrated writer of the Pondsville incident. She's called into the show with some important update. The Pondsville incident is not over. Sarah Jones, why don't you fill our listeners in on what the latest on, say, you consider the Pondsville mystery? And some lady comes on, she starts talking. It's happening again. It's happening again, just like before. The military police, they're moving in. Something's going on again. The place isn't safe like they said it was. Sounds like some crackpot that wrote a book on the toxic spill that was explained. People from Pondsville getting moved out of there back for the 70s, 80s, 90s. I have to look at the timeline again. When the place got vacated, which you have as the rage virus surfacing and getting out of the lab, but it was blamed on toxic spills while people went crazy and died. Jimmy Dugan is a tabloid reporter of the Capital City Mirror, and he also does a radio show on 1370 AM News Talk Sports. Woo, 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 woo. The radio starts to crackle again.
Were you an employee or are you not?
A voice decoded, obviously covered up, comes over the radio. Ladies, and an accompanying interesting EE you have with you, Dr. Olga Knox. This is Deep Ghost. How are you doing?
Man, I don't know where to start.
Knockout just shakes her head as she's
This is
driving.
Deep Ghost is talking through the radio.
Nothing shocks her anymore, DMJ. She's just shaking her head like, oh, this can't be going on. This can't be good.
Coordinated you through your cellular phone using the radio to tap in to give audio. I see you guys are going up to the Pondsville mine. I would love to get a hold of some analog data there. My prodigious skills of getting where I'm not supposed to be and getting the information I'm looking for is a dead end. You know, they're not hooked up to the internet. I would love to get a hold of some data from the facility at Pondsville.
Sounds good to me. What do we have to do? Who is this guy, by the way? Who's talking to us? This is crazy. I'm Super Frog, by the way. What was your name again?
Deep Ghost. I'm a barter and trader of information for my own financial benefit.
Cool. I'm looking for like a super suit that's like blue and red. Do you think you can make that happen?
I don't think I can make it happen. Text you a number. Oh, I guess you don't have a phone, do you, Super Frog? I'm texting a channel for you. They may be able to help you out to Olga Knox's phone. You can get that later.
Deep Ghost, I do have one question. I really don't remember who I am or where I come from.
We haven't met. This is the first time we've met.
Yeah, it's the first time I've met me too. And I was just wondering if you could help me figure out who I am. If you know stuff, is it like a database? I mean, use smart. How do I do this? He's trying to figure out if this.
Bring it. The more information I have of what was going on there, the more I'd be able to help you. I'm kind of starting from zero at this point, but
so I'll help you get whatever you need if you can help me figure out who I am.
I'm looking for medical journals and floppy disks.
Cool.
Any kind of storage that's cut off from the interwebs. Cold storage and deep sunk there that I can't access because I've got some access through electrical power lines and power into the mine, but there's no data ports that I can access.
Excellent.
What do you think, Olga?
Knockout looks at Frog and just shakes her head like this. And then does this.
So.
And then does this.
Why are you drawing a finger across your neck? I mean, I don't even understand that. What's a floppy disk, by the way? We have to find some.
Olga can fill you in on the details of such items like that. That should be nothing short of simple for a highly educated physician such as Dr. Olga Knox. I understand it here. Little Bird told me that you folk hooked up and working with the FBE now, but some of the agents are a little skeptical of the value of EEs. Helping law enforcement, I could help you look good. I could probably swing some tips your way. Upcoming crimes, drug busts that are going on in the city. Little tidbits here and there. You help me, I help you. Think about it, gentlemen. Think about it. Don't call me. I'll call you. And they're nothing but they're going to chase the human beings out of the neighborhood. It's a total xenophobe screed on the Jimmy Dugan story now about how EEs, need to be locked up for the safety of God-fearing Americans.
So Knockout will say that Jimmy Dugan has a point.
A lot of callers, like fringe callers. It's like listening to the Art Bell show in the middle of the day.
Oh,
Late night
crap.
with Art Bell.
Kingdom of Nye.
And that's right. He's from the Kingdom of Nye. Who can forget that? So you guys are rolling into Harem, West Virginia. You know the way. Get off the exit, go down the frontage road, bang or right, start heading north. And there's roadblock. County sheriff vehicles. There's a roadblock Like there's one lane's blocked off down the main street. You know, there's people there waving the hands or whatever, but you would there's no one coming up but you really and some other vehicles that are already there. So
We'll stop at the roadblock.
yeah, can you state business? What's your folks up here? What's your bring it up? Holy shit! Who the hell is that? What is that?
Knockout rolls down the window and says, "That's
I think we got one of them. What they were talking about, guys." Donut eating deputy sheriffs in their SUVs. I'll look at you guys.
Super Frog."
They're freaking them out.
Who's just gonna wait?
What's your name? Who are you? What's your business? What's he doing that motion for? Is that thing safe? Is that thing safe?
I don't know.
Super,
Schifron, this Sheriff Schifron, what you want, deputy? They're talking like those monsters, like they were talking about. There's one in a car out here. What are you talking about? So that's going on a little bit. Do you have anything you'd like to say or do?
I think you better handle this one, babe.
Knockout turns to Frog like, yeah. Take us to your leader.
Bring him on in. Bring him on in, Hardy. See what you're talking about, you numbnut.
You dipstick. I hate you.
He shows you to park in the familiar. You take a right around the city hall, and there's the parking lot for the post office, city hall, and the marshal's office. There's sheriff and vehicles, deputy sheriffs parked in those spots. There's plywood over the broken entrance door because you guys smashed it. Someone smashed it.
Downtown Harem.
You can see the pizza shop that's where the deputy sheriffs are hanging out.
Knockout gives Frog a shove and says, "Come on, Frog," and starts to get out.
Super Frog's just gonna, sort of get out and just sort of start jumping, sort of gingerly wherever we're going. I'm gonna follow this guy.
The door to the marshal's office opens. Sheriff Douglas Schifron steps out. He's a fat body, but he shaves and keeps immaculately clean.
I'd like to have like a brown, jacket, like a blazer with some tan pants, a white shirt, and I want like a blue and maroon striped tie that's a little bit loose and not completely tied up.
Not difficult. The only thing they had to do is they had to take some of the extra jumbo large khaki pants, cut them in half and sew like a patch in between, then sew them back together. But, the jackets are pretty roomy because there's a lot of fat agents.
Think of like Barney Miller. That's the kind of vibe I want to go for, okay? Like 70s detective show.
They recommend that you clip your FBEE badge like right on your belt so people can see it the first thing.
Oh,
They're going to want to know that you're a registered EE, that you actually work for the Bureau. That should, like with the sheriff's, like, who the hell are you guys, whatever. And he's like, oh. And hence, I heard of you guys. I heard of you. You federal, you're here to solve the crimes, aren't you? Well, how are you going to start solving crimes? You know where my marshal is?
Right. Didn't the marshal, and I'm going to look over to like Babelicious, I'm going to be like, didn't the marshal turn to goo? I mean, like a bunch of things were everything was turned to goo. I'm not sure if he was one of them. I would look around and see if there's a pile of goo that looks like him.
Knockout says if you feed him, he'll stop talking.
I like pizza.
The sheriff gets a call on the radio. You want us to move in, Sheriff? The deputy's just like right across the street at the pizza shop drinking coffee. You can see him through the window. And he's not, no, we're all set here, folks. Don't worry. FBE. Just another people jumping our jurisdiction out here in Walcott County. Just they can't think that we can't handle the situation. You and the National Guard. It's a little overkill, don't you think?
Super Frog's going to be very astute and say, Sheriff, did you actually figure this out yet? What can you tell us? What do you know? Because all we know is that everyone turned to goo and got really nasty on us, and then we left. What's changed? What's the situation?
Well, I don't know nothing about no people turn into goo, but I got missing people report. I've got report of a break-in at the Pawnsville mine. We've had a National Guard show up last night, and we are instructed to screen access coming up the county road and looking for any unusual entities, as they put it, that there could be escaped wild animals, things that are really dangerous. So you fit the bill there, Super Frog, rolling up here in town. So
Don't wax xenophobic on me, Bumpkin. Do you have any people up there? Maybe we could go up. I mean, we got some, we could go up and check it out.
Army National Guard, they're there. That's who you got to talk to if you want to go. If you want to go on back up to Pondsville, they're there.
Sure, you want to solve a problem? Throw a sack of hammers at it. That's what I say. Always works. Always has. I think we ought to take over the investigation. What do you think? What's her name again? What's whatever this woman, whatever she says.
Knockout asked to use the ladies' room.
Be my guest. He steps aside.
Knockout goes into the ladies' room and stays there for a few minutes while Frog and Sheriff work out whatever they're going to work out.
Basically, Super Frog's like, how can we help? We're pretty good with weird, okay? Look at me. So
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Things are pretty weird. Well, I can give you the descriptions of the missing missing people, where they were last seen. Anyone want to knock on doors and comb the neighborhood? Houses are pretty far apart around here, so
Super Frog is going to hold up his hand like he has a notebook in it, okay? And then start writing with his finger. Just
Are you making fun of Jesus? Are you making fun of me? This is serious business, These are our friends, our locals. God, get out of here. Go up there and hang out with the Army folks, and don't cause any trouble. And we'll be calling in the FBE in Capital City. Make sure you guys are legit. Don't think we're not.
all right, Sheriff. Thank you very much. You have a nice day, y'all.
Knockout will exit the restroom, go right to Frog and kind of push him. Says, "Come on, Frog."
I got this sorted, man. Back off. We're going up there because I set it up.
Knockout nods at Frog like, mm-hmm.
And I'm
And goes
driving.
back, keeps kind of, pushing him out the back, out the front door.
So you head up the county road, take a left on the Pondsville Mine Access Road, and you get to like 2.5 miles or something. Olga Knox's code against killing kicked in, and then it all just got a little more milder than it would have been.
All right. So we're heading back up the little mining road.
Yep, and Army National Guard is at the perimeter of the chain link fence that surrounds the Pondsville company town and the side of the hill where the mine is located.
So
Restricted area, folks. Going to have to ask you to turn around.
Knockout rolls down the window and says, I'm really sorry.
And even like, you got a big green hand going by you, Knockout. It's in your face while you're talking to this guy.
Show him the badge. Show him the badge.
Well, out of character or whatever, I didn't have to. You're showing it. That's why she said, I'm really sorry.
Okay.
I'm apologizing for Frog right away. And it's now we're going to start every conversation.
See if you can get clearance. No one's allowed in or out unless the major says so. He's got to get the major. So you just keep it right there. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. And, how about you turn off your engine too? Turn off the car while we. Couple other Army National Guard on either side of your vehicle while this guy, Joker, goes in and makes some calls. Thanks for the support from the Federal Bureau of Enhanced Entities, but Major Reynolds says everything's all set here and you won't be needed. So, unfortunately, he's really busy right now and he can't let you meet you and let you on the grounds. Too much going on, too dangerous. Waiting for the Army Corps of Engineers to show up, I think. Then we turn it over to them.
Knockout looks at Frog and says, I knew this was something to do with the Army.
So he's like, you got to turn it around now, guys.
And Super Frog's going to say, so they can
National
hear,
security.
I don't trust them.
Just your tax dollars at work there, Citizen Freaky. That's great. That's just great. That's great. Hope your house doesn't get
Knockout
caught in a
unbuckles her seatbelt, opens the
hurricane.
door, and gets out. Closes
Okay.
the door.
Super Frog does too. And just he does this thing with his tongue. He just like goes, and then he brings it back in just to freak him out.
Well, you
And
got them freaked out. Their rifles come up.
she says to I guess he's a sergeant, you've got a regular day job, don't you, sir? Family?
Make a presence attack.
Crappers.
You do really good. He's got a family and he's mortgaged to the hilt.
I got 15 presents, so I get 3d6 plus whatever you want to give me for this.
+1. So
Roll 46.
yeah, roll 46.
I rolled a 16.
And how much body?
Bodies would be 4.
Yeah, and he says that's why he don't make it any trouble. I got a day job, but I can't be there right now because we got called up to secure this place. So do a guy a favor, huh? Don't make this a really tough day. We got a bunch of dudes here and I don't want to have to call them.
Knockout will look at him and say, we're going to look around. Don't shoot. Someone could get hurt if you start shooting.
Can you just keep it around the perimeter fence?
Certainly.
Okay.
So Knockout looks at Frog. Frog, you're in the mine. I've got the fence. And she's kind of hoping that Frog will, just...
No, you can't go through the perimeter fence. He's going to say you have to go. You can.
I
check
know what he
things up.
said, DMJ.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Issue 8 of Champions United.
So we're getting about Frog to jump or not jump.
Basically, Super Frog just like takes a look around and smiles at the dudes, and then goes, "Boing." Fucking
Where's your target, Hex? Where are you trying to land?
I'm trying to land like at the entrance to the mine. Just go for it. And as he's flying, he's gonna do like this. He's gonna sort of put his hand behind his head, and then he's gonna land.
There's other Jeeps there. Everyone's looking at you. Everyone kind of has their guns ready, not slung over their shoulder. And he's on the radio, and just like the sheriff, the major comes on out to see what everyone's talking about.
Okay.
Wants to know what you want. This is a secure military facility, and you either need to leave or we are going to put you in the holding cell.
Well, I'm here to investigate the terrible accident with the wild animals, okay, that I've been getting out. Take a look at me, man. I belong here, and I got a friend over there. I point over, and it's like, maybe.
You can't really see it.
I know.
So you can see back at the gate, but he knows he's getting that information because it's coming to him live streaming. He's got people there yelling.
Are you going to let us in, or are you going to?
They can't do that. Can't do that. No one gets in or out. This is being turned over to the Army Corps of Engineers, who should be showing up at any time. Because one, you can't really get in. I mean, it's all access collapsed. We're seeing what we're going to do. They're probably going to want to dynamite it some more and make sure it's fully collapsed.
Okay.
Very dangerous. Can't let you go in there.
All right. Cool. Well, I'll just wait here until you open the door.
So Frog's kind of on his own with the Army this time, like big Godzilla guy, and I'm going for a walk to try to find something on the outside of the mine. Looking for anything that could be something. So it's all you for a while, Frog. Have fun.
Yeah, I do have answers to your questions, Knockout, but I think I have to go into Super Frog's altercation with the Army soldiers right now.
This is going to be funny as hell to watch.
So,
What are you doing? I'm just
3.
going along with him. I'm complying peaceably.
yeah, I mean, you're a Fed, so they're just, You're trying to get, as usual, trying to get in some place. The army says you can't, and it's going to be some big shit fest, and someone's going to talk to someone, and you're either going to have to leave or you're going to get what you want. That's what the guard's saying. That's what he's just kind of running it off. And what's your name, and how are you, and who do you? And yeah, can I get a selfie with you?
Sure, man.
Is it true? Like this is like this is like a toxic spill just like spawned all these weird monsters. That's
Can I tell you something? I talk really quiet. I'm like, they're doing evil alien experiments in there.
I knew it. I knew it. Knew it. I knew it. They all said that lady was crazy. That crazy book writer. But, you know, she just had too many details. Just sounded too good. It's too much there. All right, Knockout. You are skirting around the fence. It starts to go downhill. And you come out on a muddy track, end of a 4-wheel drive road. It's kind of the end of it where you're at a can only be described like a lumber yard or lumber site. There's a skidder, backhoe, one of those cherry picker things to pick up logs. There's a warehouse, so a log peeler. So this looks like a site where skidders would drag some clear cut from along the side of the West Virginia hills here and dump it off, and then they get pruned and chopped and loaded up on those trucks and taken down the hill. And there's a beat up old pickup truck, and there's a guy listening to country music, and he looks pretty dirty, and he's drinking out of his jug. How you doing?
Knockout will go over to the guy.
Zeke Doncaster, how you doing?
She nods to him. Tell me what you see around here, Zeke.
What I see around here? Well, I've seen a lot. I grew up here. I've been up and down these paths. I know these mountains like the back of my hand. My pappy did too. Why, you with the Bureau of Tobacco and Firearms, are you? Alcohol, tobacco, and firearms? That's it. Yeah. The ATB? ATF. That's it. The ATF. You're not from Waco, are you?
No, I'm from Estonia.
I don't know where that is, but you're no cop, are you? Tax collector. You want a sip of the jug?
She nods no. I'm actually looking for any way to get into the mine that's not official.
Why you want to go do that for?
Because everything isn't the way it seems, Zeke.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You almost felt the cracks of hell breaking open last night, didn't you?
I was in the mine a couple days ago.
Yeah.
And now I want back in.
The place is cursed, you know. That mine's cursed.
Of course it is. That's why I want in. Can you help me, Zeke?
I can show you the way in, but I can't. I ain't going in there with you. I don't recommend you do it either, but I know where's it is. I was telling you, that mine offended the wrong kind of Indian spirits. The Wendigo haunting these hills in the winter. Oh, it's true. It ain't no Appalachia tale. I seen him. I seen it. Takes another drink.
Knockout's just smiling at Zeke, like,
Because you sure you don't want none?
and thinking to herself, do I believe this guy, or do I just go off on my own?
It's not far at all. Heck, we can get in my truck. I can give us one mile. The road goes a little further. I can get us a mile before we got to start walking.
Then I'd be in your truck with you, wouldn't I? She smiles at him.
I rolled the windows down. The windows are down. I got the windows down. No air conditioning. I hope you're not looking for any air conditioning. But I got Reverend Bebop Jubop Gospel out right now. That is not to be missed.
Chuba.
So he takes you where he says he can get you in. On the way over there, he's like, ooh, wow, this is interesting. The area around where he's heading looks like not so much clear cut for logging, but like someone just cut down trees in the area for some reason. And he can see a lot of tracks in the mud from the culvert, which is trickling out some toxic sludge.
Knockout will tell him, maybe you should just drop me off here.
Trickle of toxic fluid. This is where they said this is the evidence they had for the toxic flood and all that had to get everyone cleared off from the town.
Knockout gets just a gross look on her face, like, God, these are new boots. She
Yeah.
says, thanks, Zeke, and gets out.
It's a little sticky purple yellow mud. There are booted prints deeply embedded in the slop leading away. And it goes to over where all the trees are cut down.
I'll follow the footprints.
In or out? Like to where the trees are cut down or into the
I'll go to
culvert?
where the trees are cut down first.
Okay.
First, I make sure Zeke gets out of there. Wave by. So he's not just in harm's way.
Yeah. He says, I'll the lumber yard. I'll be waiting for you. I'll give you a ride back into town when you're done.
I can't wait.
And Super Frog disappears.
Did he drop out?
I don't know what he did, but he seemed to have been having no problem coming back in, so I expect to see him jump back in.
Weird, huh?
The cleared area, there's a brand new chainsaw. Like it's never been used, but it has been used. Like it just was recently used. It was like brand new out of the box. Gasoline. And trees have been cut down and make an area. It's imprints on the ground. There's a lot of blown over trees.
Have the trees been hauled away?
Nope, they're just laying on the side out of the way. Left where they're cut, but not so that there's a clearing.
Something landed here. They had to have some place.
You remember hearing when you were driving back down the access road, you didn't think anything of it, but you heard it, is because you can hear things like this going off the valley mountain walls. Was a helicopter leaving, which is
Okay.
kind of coincidental that, you know, you heard it in the distance that
I didn't think anything of it at that time, but now she recalls. Double back, go up the spillway, ruining her new boots.
Knockout, you're going into the spillway. It's filthy mud, 400, 200 yards. Then it opens up into a square concrete room. There's concrete steps cut into like an abutment with the metal railing. There's no lighting under here. How are you going to see? Do you have any enhanced senses or you're just
I do.
tough? You're tough.
I have +4 to all my sense groups, which negates the negatives for nighttime.
So you can have a sense of where you are, but if you're looking for details or something, that could be difficult.
I don't even have my cell phone light. I'm going to go back to the truck and look for a flashlight. No. I'm not going to bug Zeke with the
Oh, okay.
flashlight. I'm going back to the SUV and I'm going to ask one of the military guys, excuse me, can I borrow a flashlight? And maybe you guys can tell Frog I found something on the other side of the hill.
Hey, what's up?
The guard says that that knockout chick is out front by the front gate and is looking for you, wants to talk to you.
Oh, cool. Nice. So they let me out?
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, yeah, text me or something. It was awesome to hang out.
We're going to give you a ride to the front gate, and they ask you to jump in the Humvee. This is an open one, not with a 50 cal.
Oh, sure. Well, Super Frog just jumped.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they whisk you down, and there's Super Frog. And you're
Yo,
step
baby.
out of the Humvee. Super Frog steps out of the Humvee.
Frog to get a flashlight. And
Dude,
Knockout gets a flashlight from one of the military guys.
Yes.
Says, come on, Frog.
And they say, if we catch you inside the fence, we're going to have to call you in. Just saying.
Knockout nods at National Guard guy that tells her that she's going to be called, and she says, I'm sure you will.
Okay.
Sir, you've got a little malfunction with some of your gear for, say, an hour. And she smiles at him.
Okay. You know they got good pizza in Harem. I knock off about 7.
That's what I'm talking about.
All
Come
right.
on, Frog. So Knockout shoves Frog and starts walking
So you get back to the spillway entrance.
back to the concrete spillway entrance. It's dark. We'll turn on our flashlights and we're going in.
I think I posted a picture of this. The culvert ends into this,
Oh yeah.
and so that's a metal door you see on the other side. That ladder just goes up into a square concrete shaft and keeps on going up as far as you can see. Those things are just some weird, almost like the sacks like you came out of that were inside the tube that you were in, Super Frog.
Right.
But everything is cold, unlit, not powered.
What's that thing? What's it hooked up to? Is that like a dead one on the ground?
No, that's a cover. It's a cover to a shaft, a pit that goes down. It's got a manhole cover on it. Directly back there is the steel door with cranks like that you would open up. And it's partially open. It's partially open.
There's a ladder and a door. And now a manhole cover, she says as she stands over it.
So you can't see down. It's like in the from the floor.
You would have to pull up the manhole cover and push it aside to look down.
What do you think? We should look inside of this thing. Yeah. Super Frog's just going to open it up, just sort of lift it up and just sort of look down.
Okay, Knockout will go over to the door.
You pull off the man cover and it's fairly wide. The diameter is, we'll call it an 8-foot diameter
Yeah. Whoa.
manhole. I mean, you can pick it up, but that's how big it is. Like, blank. And you two being strong, it's not an issue. But it just goes down like there's concrete culverts or whatever. Chung, chung, chung. It's just kind of echoey and breezy.
Any
What would
ladders
be-
or anything?
Nope.
All right. Well, just, we'll put the thing back on for now. What's in the doorway? You going to open the door there?
It's partially open so you can shove it. And it looks like a lab facility. There's metal tables. There's metal shelving. There's outdated computer equipment that doesn't look like it's been used in 50 years. There's a lot of stuff on the shelves and benches.
Knockout will move over to the computer and she'll say, Frog, check around for another door. And I'll go ahead and I'll pull the hard drive out of whatever computer is in there and shove it in my pocket.
What you first thought was like a computer flashing in your flashlight to go up and do that. You actually see it's an octahedral frame of some unknown substance, almost like a horseshoe. It's flat like this. Just enlarge my hands and go, but like this, with a blocky triangle in near the middle of it, of the fork, and it's levitating off the ground about
So
this
Knockout
many
just, what the hell?
this many inches. It's just sitting there unsupported. You're like, whoa, there's got to be an embouchure or something, or it's stacked on something. But no.
That's not normal. Are there any other doors?
Yes, there's one door directly the opposite way you came in on the far end of the room. It does look like it's been opened and closed recently.
You have a knack for overstating the obvious, Super Frog.
Yes. Well, it's always been a gift of me since I was young. So, are there any notebooks or like these floppy disks that we were asked to get? I mean, this thing's not threatening us, right?
No,
How about just picking through? Are there like
no, it's just an inert thing. Yeah. What I wanted.
I want to.
I want to try to get a size description. Make it a U, 5 feet wide. The prongs of the U, 6 feet. It tapers to about 2 inches at the far end. When it meets the bottom of the U, it's like 12 inches. And in the center of that U, it's blocky triangle. And it's an unknown material. It's blackish, but it has like a luminescent light that yellowish that wants to, because you can see everything's in the dark. It kind of you normally wouldn't see it, but you can due to the lack of lighting. And that it's just levitating in the air, unsupported.
You should touch it. You're wicked strong. Come on.
Did you find any doors?
Yeah, there's a door right over there, man. Yeah, there's the door. It's closed. Looks like this one. It's over there. It's closed. It's got everything to do with this door, but it's not that door. It's a different one.
So you're telling me you can't open the door, Super Frog?
I haven't tried. I'm looking for a medical journal. Did you see any medical journals around here? How about a floppy disk? And he's just like kicking around, just like looking through some stuff. He's basically rifling the joint.
It's a lot of hardware and hand electrical tools. A chitin-like mass of welded bulges studded with several buttons and toggles.
What?
There's a shimmering crystal. There's that octagonal frame that's levitating. There's a segmented carapace that looks like it's shaped like a flak vest.
Wow. Is it something you would wear? It's like a garment?
There's all kinds of weird stuff in here. Knockout.
Yeah,
says.
but it is. It looks like a Kevlar vest, bulletproof vest, but it's made out of this chitinous material. Makes it like my carbon fiber mesh, whatever, really light.
Chitin?
Chitin, sorry, chitin, yeah. A chitin carapace formed in what would make looks like protection.
Can Super Frog wear it? Can you try it on?
No, don't fit you at all. Doesn't fit your physique.
That's too
You're
bad.
too big. You're too big. Knockout, being a female, is a little bit of lighter frame. She would have much an easier time fitting into it.
Okay. So what about this glowing crystal thing? It's like Super Frog's going to look at it. What is it? Is it like shimmering? What do you mean shimmering? Does it refract? Does it like put rainbows on the wall, when you shine a light through it? Does it glow?
Yeah, the shimmering is from the flashlight. When the flashlight goes across it, it just reflects like a crystal instead of a rock or with mica or something. It's solidly a crystal. It's elongated, and with the light on it, you notice that the crystal look belies that it's mushy.
Squishy?
It's squishy, yeah. It's not wet or anything, but you can push it. It's yielding.
Nice.
And then it goes back to its crystal elongated shape. There's 3 glass vials of a clear liquid. There's another crystal. This one is faceted and it's in the shape of a disc.
What do you think, Knockout?
I think it's time for door number 2, Super Frog.
Okay. Well, Super Frog will take those crystals and just, put them in his jacket. Why not? They're kind of cool. No floppy disks?
No.
And this levitating thing, he takes like a stick or some other piece of inanimate object and pushes it.
You can't move it up and down. You can't move it this way or that way, but when you touch it, you can make it, you can like spin it.
All right, he's going to give it a good whack.
It spins as fast as you can, like, Wheel of Fortune, big money, big money, big money, big money. But it's very firm and doesn't go winging off anywhere or move. But it can take your strength winging it and stay fixed and spin.
Nice. Check this out. Knockout, this is cool.
The other door opens now.
Knockout will go and spin it the other way.
Spins just fine. It's like if it was a ceiling fan, you can just, push it one way or the other, but it stays on that. You can't move it up and down. You can't push it physically this way.
We'll move over to the other door.
A square concrete corridor for 7-8 feet, and then it turns into natural mine cavern, hard rock coal mine, what they call a drift, a horizontal shaft.
Knockout will say, so what room is that we had access to the stuff, but this is just a regular old mine shaft?
Are there any other built fixtures in this shaft? I mean, like another door or another passage?
Passageway going on as far as your light will show. It looks like one of the narrow lower ones that you chased Dr. Farwell down was similar, not as big as a mainway, I'll call it. There's an open shaft 200 yards down that goes up.
Superflex dark vision, so he's going to be like, Knockout, just dim the light for a second and see if he can see anything with a dark vision.
No, just mining tools. The drift goes on. A shaft 200 yards down is actually an elevator lift.
We'll go to the lift.
Been on it.
Oh,
You recognize this lift. You've been on it before. And you can smell the putrid smell from. If you went further down, you would come to a shaft that goes down that was all choked up and blocked and smelt really bad. And then you guys turned around and went back up that lift and then eventually ran into labs again.
back at the lift.
So if the lift is not powered anymore, that elevator, you guys can jump up and just pretty much grab the lip.
It's champions.
Superfrog's doing it.
I got a 40-inch vertical leap.
That's pretty intense.
It's good being the Palooka brick.
When you reach that level, it's familiar. You have been here, and you know if you go to the right, you would end up to the shaft that went back down to the lab. And if you go forward, a four-way junction that was right below the entrance. It's a junction that you came through. You came down a ladder, but a bunch of debris choking it. You would have to dig it out to go forward, or you can go down the shaft that would lead you back towards the cube lab.
I want to go back towards the Q lab.
Okay. It is in the state that you had left it.
Okay, Frog, you're up. Go find Dr. McKeever.
Where's Dr. McKeever?
I mean,
No,
Dr. Farwell.
How's he
Dr.
gonna-
Farwell, I chased her down the tunnel, and then she got away. I sparred with her. She was nasty. One fat biatch, man, but then she went away. So I'm going to look around, see if I can find the medical journals or floppy disks.
You can get floppy disks. You can get spiral bound notebooks of reports.
Knockout starts yelling for Dr. Farwell. Dr. Farwell,
No answer.
I can help you. While Frog is doing his thing, Knockout's yelling for Dr. Farwell.
No one or nothing returns to your call. You got your pockets stuffed with as many floppy disks as you can. Some manuals with handwriting on them. Daily experimental logs. Some of the stuff familiar that you had gotten the first time, too. Like, the Bureau's got some of this stuff back at the Bureau.
Right.
But now you have your own.
Knockout think that she saw any crazy, shaggy Dr. Farwell prints out in the mud, out in the back of the spillway.
Could
She
be.
recalls.
There's definitely prints that were like of a large animal, along with booted feet that it looked like someone was in hiking boots or something, or a sturdy shoe.
Dr. Farwell leave and get on that helicopter. She's not in here. Okay. So Knockout will start to turn and say, Frog, did you get what you needed out of the cube?
Totally. Yeah, I did. I don't know what it is, but we got it.
I think that all the time now.
What do you want to do?
We're leaving.
Good. Good riddance. I wouldn't mind punching something in this place, but if there's anything to punch, then we should go.
I feel that way all the time now, too.
Everything is on the up and up. You get to the lumber yard. Zeke's pickup truck is running, but it's like driven into the side of the warehouse or the the building. He tried to leave in a hurry, and the driver's door is open, and the truck is still running.
We'll go over and investigate.
As you get to his running truck, you don't see Zeke in it, but you hear really deep. And then you hear Zeke screaming, being attacked by something around the corner of the building that you can't see.
Super Frog's going to leap into the air and try to land, on the other side of the building where he's hearing something coming from.
Okay?
Knockout will take the most direct route.
The truck drove into the outside of the building.
Okay.
The door was open. Zeke got out and is running away, and he managed to climb up on the metal siding of the building to get up higher than this thing that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That's what's going and trying to reach up to Zeke. It's a horrible, slime.
Zeke, I can help you, and I'll run around the building.
It's genetic deviant X, bear-like features, and it sees you guys. Taller than you guys. It's a good 7 feet tall. It's a beast. Raw skin and muscle. Not even really like a hair or anything. Turns to you all.
Well, I'm going for it.
Its dexterity is 18. Super Frog's got everyone flat off the get-go. Go first.
I better. I want to grab him. I want to put him in a joint lock with my tongue.
That's gross.
The combat value is 6. The combat value is dexterity divided by 3.
Yeah, so I got a 10. And
His is a 6, so you got to get a 15 or less.
on 3 dice, right? 3 dice.
Yep. Excellent shot.
That's a 9. It says I'm trying to figure out what I can do with a joint lock. Grab 2 limb kung fu joint lock. I want to grab both of his arms with the tongue. I want to sort of flick it around. Grab his arms like behind his back with my tongue, and just hold him back, pull him back, so that Babelicious can punch his freaking lights out. Check your hair or something. I don't know what women want to do in combat situations these days. Not to be sexist, a little bit.
What's your dex? Knockout.
Mine's 20.
Okay. You're up. He's wrapped genetic deviant X. His arms around it.
I'll shift 2 levels to punch, and
Okay.
I will tell this thing that you're not going to hurt Zeke today.
His DC defensive combat value is reduced to 0.
So I hit it with a 12.
Roll damage.
36 stuns, 9 bodies, 36 and 9. So if he's held, I probably don't get any knockback on it, but I'll do that.
Roll 2d6 minus 1. Tell me what you get. Frog's got reduced knockback. He's going to be held pretty well.
If anything, it would be 1 inch of knockback. I push him back a little bit. I hit him pretty hard.
Well, here's the thing. I'm probably going to go right after you because I got 6. I would go with it. If he started to go one way, I would take his momentum with my tongue and I would just swing him. So just saying.
You are correct, Super Frog, except on the first round of combat. The first round of combat, they start in segment 12.
Okay.
Everybody gets to do on the jump.
Yeah.
So, but for him, since his dexterity is the lowest, he's going last out of the 3 of you.
That's good news.
So, but the only thing he can really do, what he's going to try to do, is break free. And breaking free, he's got a strength of 70.
What?
What?
So he would roll 76, and I would say you would roll your strength, and whoever gets the most body wins. Like he breaks free, or you restrain him and he doesn't.
I've got 30 strength, so
It's divided by 5.
that's 66.
Damage dice.
And he's got, isn't that 14 D6?
It is.
I think he's getting out.
He may be so strong that he can just bust right out of this, Super Frog.
I've got 7 body.
You got him, what, a joint lock?
15, he did 15
body. Yeah, he's saying a joint lock, but I'm looking at that, and he says his arms, and I've got all that, but I still don't see anywhere where he can't use his full strength to break out of it.
I get grab one limb, 1d6 normal defense, and target falls from the joint lock. DM screen for a second. Have we got anything down here?
Currently, I'm saying he goes, "Whoosh," and Super Frog, you have to unloose your tongue. Boing! And now we're beholden to speed. And your speed is 6. And Super Frog, you are up first.
I'm going to give him, I'm just going to kick him. I'm just going to come on up and give him one of those clockwork orange kicks, a little dainty move and a little smile. I'm going to try to kick him right in the nets. So I have 10, and my kick is, -2 OTV. So I have an 8.
13 or less.
13 or less. All right. Ouch. I rolled a 15.
Annoyed by the frog. It just sidesteps you as you try to kick it. It's a little faster than you thought, I guess. Goes, "Oh, my genetic deep brains.
You won't find any of those with Super Frog. As soon as it jumps out of the way of Frog, Knockout's going to be ready right there to try to clean its clock with another punch.
The combat value is still the same with 6. So
6, I'm at 9. It's 20. I would hit on a 14 or less, and I rolled a 13.
roll damage.
37 and 10. Add 7 inches of knockback this time.
You knock it back 3 hexes. 3 inches of 3.
Good.
I'm not even going to bother rolling for damage because it's so tough. It's not going to
That's fine.
get hurt by bouncing off the dirt like that. You've knocked him away from Zeke.
Run, Zeke, run.
Zeke's climbing down and he's look like he wants to run. So it's Genetic Deviant X's action. It's side by side, shoulder to shoulder against Genetic Deviant X. And it goes after Knockout. 7 and 6, so he's got to get a 10 or less. 10 or less to hit. 9.
Oh, ouch.
Grabs your head in its hands, and you lose 10 points of intelligence as the ends of its fingers start to burn into your skull and burn your flesh. And it goes, brains!
Is it draining?
It's a destruction. Intelligence destruction. When we get you to 0 intelligence, then it does something nastier.
So
Next.
it's draining me?
It's actually what it's trying to do. It's trying to basically melt its fingers through your skull and suck your brains out.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if I've got a defense against this.
Okay. The power is 3d6 intelligent destruction.
I never even heard of that.
It does no damage to people who have ego defense or solid head covering.
Okay,
Has to protect your flesh.
I got 5 points of metal defense. I'm going to subtract from that. So I lose 5 points of intelligence?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And when it gets you down to 0, then it starts to kill you.
Knockout starts to laugh. Frog.
Frog, you're up.
Cute.
You're starting to look pretty attractive, Babylicious.
Babylicious is getting your brains sucked out.
Yep.
As this towering monster, this mad thing stands over her. Ah!
Like, is Knockout in his hands now, or what?
Yeah, he's holding on to Knockout's head.
Right. That's not cool. So that's like a grab then. I'm going to kick his ass. I'm going to kick him.
He's standing there sucking brains, so his DCV goes way down. So he's at 3.
Well, I got 11 with my kick, a +1 OCV on the kick.
What's your dexterity?
It's 30. My OCV is
Yeah.
+1, so it's 11.
Yeah, I think the only way you can miss him is if you roll 666.
All right, I rolled a 13, so he's got double knockback kick. I kick him in as close to the nuts as I can.
Okay.
Stay away from my girlfriend. Oh man, you can't suck her brains out. So the damage count is plus 4d6. So I've got 6d6. I got 10d6. It's a 10d6 kick. Let's see what we get. We got 9 body. Probably doesn't even get close to this asshole.
No.
Stun is just all of them, right?
Just totaled it up, and his physical defense is 24.
I got 23, 20, 31, 35. 35.
35. So that's 11 stun he takes.
What does that do to him?
Chisels him down to 0 stun. You get him to 0 stun, you at least knock him unconscious. But we got to roll your knockback. So you did 9 body, double knockback. We argued about this before, and we settled on.
You
so
double the body, and then you subtract yours from that, like 2d6 from that.
Yeah, 2d6 minus 1, actually. So I take 5 off in your
18.
You're 18. Wow. That's 13 inches of knockback.
Yeah.
He goes sailing into a pile of stacked lumber, getting ready to go into the log peeler.
That's like 75 feet of knockback.
So you cross the yard.
Nice. And he can't be holding on to...
No. He's just pooing. The slimy fingers burning into your skull are quickly released from you. Knockout. So that's 13d6 that I roll, isn't it? Because he goes right into the pile of lumber.
And it's full defense against it, though.
Yeah. I mean, 13d6 is not chump change.
Of course not.
Takes 45 stun. His constitution's so high, he's not going to get knocked out. And the body, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, nothing on the body. Slowly picking itself out of the wood pile.
How much stun did Krog's kick do?
I think he said 41.
35.
Oh, 35. 35 minus 24. 35 minus 24, that's 11.
This thing's a tank.
It's wobbly. It's got 13 stun left, full body. It's been burning up some endurance. I better take a look at that. Make sure it's chalking up that.
I've used 4.
So if you have a movement of 6, 3 times 6, 18, you're going to be burning about 18 endurance without pushing it every 12 seconds. And every 12 seconds, at the end of that, you get a recovery, which bounces you back.
It'll be my 5th when we come back in 2 weeks. Sweet.